Alrighty, so what's up, everybody? I know I look like a Hulk Hogan here, but welcome. What's happening? So, guys, we're still talking about the previous bounce that we had. Was this a bounce that finally had conviction? Did it finally have the volume that we were looking for? And what are we looking for next? We currently have Bitcoin sitting at a 4-hour resistance. One chart that is looking pretty good is the US. The US 30, the futures is looking pretty good. If you look at what this has done over the last few days, it obviously had a massive 4-hour candle bounce, which was good. And one thing I do like about where the stock market's at right now is these two green bounces over here. You know, we've been waiting in the area to see where we're going to find support, and seeing these two bigger green candles. Sorry, I thought I had. Seeing these two bigger green moves over here in this area finally gives a little bit of conviction that there is some big buying happening at the zone. And what we currently have now is we have broken the previous high. We're looking to turn it into support. And after that, we'll be chasing down the next one. So far, stock market looking pretty good. We have the Dixie also making the lower high, which was very important for us to get a lower high out of the Dixie. And if we could continue this, sorry guys, let me sort out this camera. Let me sort it out. Otherwise, Jamesy, get the show going. Let me get this sorted out. Big show, guys. Let's hit it.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, sorry, I am back on the standard camera. I see my cameras are giving a little bit of issues today. I am traveling. I'm not in the studios, but I am flying in the next 2 hours. So I wanted to bring you guys the quick show. What's up, everybody? Smash a like, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, and make sure you are following all of our social medias. If you have a look below, I know my camera is a bit fuzzy today. If you do have a look below the video, guys, you will find all of the different information that we have. We have tons of different social medias. And obviously, we have the ByBit and the BitGet competition, which I'm in at the moment. I have some small longs. I had a small stoppage from Chile, but I've re-entered in the area. I'll go through that shortly. This is a long-term trend. So I'm starting to play around, and I have a small one where I've joined on Solana at the point. Just playing around, getting ready for it. Remember, guys, competition is there for us to practice. It's there to put us against other traders and see what's out there. I think we've got to be inspired. There's already someone that's over 100%. Maybe a lucky trade. We'll see. But ideally, we're starting to see that can people actually make money in this market, and you can use this competition to rate yourself, to build yourself. And to be a part of that, remember, you've got to be using these links below. You've got to have a ByBit or BitGet account with our referral link, and that will all get will below the actual video. And remember to join our BBS, tons of charts there and tons of alpha. So let's jump on. Let's go have a look to see where we're at right now. As I said previously, we have the Dixie making a lower high as we speak. And what we do have is we do have it approaching a very incredible, well, important trend for us. We just want this to slow down and come down so that we can have the stock market rally up. And hopefully, because what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing the stock market starting to show some momentum to the upside. You know, if you look at where it is right now, it's done pretty good, a nice little bounce of where it's been previously. The only thing is we haven't really had that bounce in crypto just yet. So it looks like the crypto market's waiting to confirm that there is a little bit of a bullish move happening on the stock market, and then we can have a catch up from the crypto market. And we start to raise. So we got to always keep our eyes on that, as well as the 10-year yield. which is just hovering sideways. And ideally what we're waiting for this is to break that key trend line that we've been waiting for a very long time. So still a time not to sleep, for us to stay focused. I am focusing on quite a bit of shorter term trades as we speak, as we've been loading a lot on every dip. You know, what happened with Bitcoin last week is, again, it just went and tested the lower ranges. It went and tested, let's get this chart up over here. It went and tested the $18,000 zone again, and we've been there many different times. So I think we're starting to understand that investments, you know, if the market does make its way down there, dollar costing on investment tokens and tokens you want to hold for a long time has always been a good start. You know, yeah. Sorry, guys, the mustache is something new. I lost, I didn't lose a bet, but a lot of the boys destroyed themselves on the weekend, so they all look quite ridiculous. It's the chosen ones, guys. It's the new series that's gonna be dropping on my channel soon. Remember to follow my channel, guys, below in the description. You'll soon see why I look ridiculous, and it's really cool. So what I'm basically waiting for here is Bitcoin basically went down to those lower ranges. It didn't hit the squeeze area, which was basically the 19,900, the 19,700, the previous low. Let's make this nice and bigger so everyone can see. And you can see we're still basically in the middle range. Now, what I've done is I have tracked that, and you can see where Bitcoin has been fighting now for the last few hours. I think it's been the last day or two. It's basically the $19,700 mark. That's currently where a lot of resistance is sitting. But a breakthrough that, you know, the next resistance we're looking is the 20K. Now, I think 20K is the critical level of a short-term break. It's a critical level that we want to get through. I still see this very big gap over here. And until the lead up there, don't be surprised that it does take its time to get up there. Remember, it always takes the hardest fight to get to the area of where to break through. Once you break through that, there's a lot less resistance, and you don't need as much volume to get the momentum that you want. And that's why things are sort of taking a little bit of time currently where we're at the moment. It's because we are fighting this critical level on the zone. Whether or not this was a really good bounce, I think it's a great candle. I don't think we've seen a candle like this in a while, where we had this long pin. We got a good amount of volume behind it as well. And again, it was just at a very critical level. So in order for this to be a confirmed short-term bounce, we do need to break this trend line. And we break this trend line, we can then make the momentum up. And remember, above 20K for me, this gap over here, I think we get to 23 quite quick. And it's sort of what I've been waiting for and taking my time. You know, obviously we've been impatient and we've been waiting and waiting for these things. But ideally, I've been prepping a lot for that move. I do plan on the, you know, there's a chance and sort of strategy that I'm working with that I do think Bitcoin at some point goes to 25 to 30K. And I think that's an area where I start to offload quite a bit, because I do think after that we can come down to the lower ranges again. But I'm literally prepping for the last few weeks now for the single move. Because I feel that we are, yes, there is downside and there is possible downside, but we have been here for so long now, and the amount of times we are getting bought up in these areas, I do feel there's some sort of relief bounce coming before we do get any more damage going further. And obviously, as I said, we need the stock markets to live from that. Now, what we're also seeing is dominance is basically waiting. It is at the verge of breaking another high. I think it's waiting for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does break that trend, I think dominance goes back in favor of Bitcoin again, and I think we still have the dominance make its way back up to around 44, and then get diversified into the alts. So the way you play it with this is that this is what's nice about it, is if Bitcoin breaks now and all of a sudden it starts to rally, the altcoins are going to rally, but they're not going to rally like Bitcoin. So it still gives you opportunity to get, you know, you can basically wait to confirm Bitcoin's broken out. Now I can start focusing on altcoins and I can start looking at those. And you have a little bit of time to build the altcoin positions, because if this shoots up and we have a Bitcoin breakout, you'll see dominance go up to these areas, and then it will be diversified into the altcoins. So you got a bit of time. You're basically waiting and confirming that Bitcoin's doing what it needs to do. Now you got time to confirm, to start focusing on the altcoins. So it is pretty nice when we do have a market reset and a market reset of the cycle where it goes back into Bitcoin and then back into altcoins. It is nice because it gives you a little bit of time on what to focus on. Now, some of the big movers, which is looking pretty good, is obviously MATIC. MATIC ripped out really well. It's sitting around 85 cents. So it's definitely one that's showing a lot of strength as soon as the market shows a bit of greenness, which makes sense. I feel MATIC has been one of the biggest companies building in this bear market, and they've been working really hard. So I still think MATIC is one of the top coins for the future. And you can just see every time this market starts to shift and starts to get this momentum, how quickly MATIC moves. Now, what I am looking at on MATIC, I was looking at a short-term short last night. So keep your eyes open for the Discord group to see if that's available, because I'll close my longs and possibly go short if we get the signal to. But ideally, what I'm looking for MATIC is the long position. And for me, this has shot its way up. We jump onto the RSIs. We can see the 8-hour is at an overbought position, so you're not looking to buy just yet, but it is showing me that there will be a sell-off at some point. And if we look at the charts, we've clearly made the higher high of where we're at, and this comes down over here for the retest. We get the RSIs down to a reset position. I'm looking to add. Now, why am I looking to add? Is because if we look at the daily, let me just get rid of that drawing that I just made. The daily's just taken off. And let's actually see where the weekly is as well. The weekly is starting to cross to the upside as well. Now, guys, what I've been speaking about is I still think early next year is bad. And the reason why I'm saying that is, we've been speaking about these RSIs, and we've been going through a lot of these RSIs and where we should be buying, where we shouldn't. You could see that this stochastic RSI on the weekly for Bitcoin is not at a place to be loading a very long-term position right now. Like right now, what it's showing here is from here, I do see this going up to the overbought position. And for me, it's an exit. It's for me on the next leg up, it's an exit strategy. And if we play it out, this goes up here during November, December, as we spoke. End of December, we start to make our way down. And I'm probably saying around March, April, May next year is when we're building our long-term portfolios again. So for me, what I'm actually doing on this next move is when this weekly gets up now over the next few weeks, which I'm sort of seeing what should happen from the stock market. Nice little bounce out, everything start to move its way up. I'm actually exiting a lot of my long-term positions here, and I'm sticking to the strategy of I'm going to load this up again in March. And if we had to put that on the chart, it basically shows something like this. Bitcoin makes its way up to these areas, possibly 25, maybe even the 30. And then I think something like this happens where we come back either to the lower range or we go down to even lower of that 12K. People have been speaking about the 12K, 14K. I think it can be hit. I do think it gets hit, not just yet. I think it gets hit in a few months. I think we've already been through a lot here. I think we've got to get some sort of relief bounce first, and then there can be more damage. So I'm basically focusing on that this little leg for me is where I can actually make some money for the year and get the portfolios where they need to be. And then going into quite a bit of stables in that time. And I'm getting ready to load up in this area, which is basically the March, April sort of level. And then from then, we could possibly have a little bit of a good rally again. And I'm probably thinking 2024 is probably regions where we start testing the lower range, the higher ranges again, which is anywhere of these price zones over there. I don't think we get there just yet. It feels like where Bitcoin is now, I think it needs to actually accumulate. I think it needs to do this the whole of next year. I think that's what makes sense, where we just range between 30 and like 15K or 16K for the whole year. And then after that, we can start looking at, 2024, start getting back to the higher ranges, which is great for us. If we just follow the same strategies again of using the weekly RSI for your long-term portfolios, it's never lied to you before. Whenever this has hit the top, you get your ass out of the markets. You could see what it's done previously many times. You could see how it was over at these positions over here. It's helped you so many times to keep a consistent strategy. So if this gets there again in the next few weeks, it's very clear that we're in this for the long run. It is going to take time for this market to do what it needs to do. But if you have a market that is ranging between 16 and 30K over a whole year, we can build some badass portfolios in that time. We can learn to become really good in that time. And we can make sure that we are ready for the next bull run. You need one. You need one bull run that you catch right and you catch it in that area. This is the time for you to build your asses off, learn as much as you can, and get as many bags as possible in that time. And you need one bull run, and that bull run then sets you, a bull run, 10, 20, 30 X's if you do your portfolio right. And that can just take you to a whole nother level. Then it gets quite tough because you got used to grinding on a short period of time with having less money or something like that. Then you become an investor where you got to become really patient, where you're only trading once or twice a year. So you're going to continuously learn over this game over the next few months to the next year or two. But ultimately, you're going to learn how to become a short-term, medium-term, and long-term trader, investor, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you got to be short time frame because it's the only thing that the market's offering. And if this market goes in this range now for the next year, as an investor, you're not going to make much money unless you're buying and selling in these areas. If you use the weekly stochastic, it will help you a lot, yes. But you got to get used to the midterm range trading as well, and the swing trading and all these sort of things through these times. Very important, because you may not be offered any money, the bounty hunter. You may not be offered any money over the next year as an investor. You'll be making money in 3 years' time. So I want to use this period over here to build my damn bags. And it's showing how strong that strategy actually is. I've been building this scallop for a while. I've been speaking to you guys about scallop. And we look at what scallop's done now recently. It just shows you why you build these little bags. This was a small term bag of mine that I've been building around 18 cents. And all of a sudden, it broke a long-term trend and we ripped and we went. And, for me, now that's 30-40% up. So these ranges, this is currently, if you had to look at Bitcoin in a sense, it's in the sideways range here. You got to use it as a way to just, the amount of tokens you have to the amount of money you spent gives you the average price that you bought for the token. So you want to just try get that average price as low as possible. Now, for example, I actually bought Scallop a lot higher in the previous cycle. I think I bought it, if we actually have a look here, I was buying this thing around $1.6, $1.7. I was buying it. And that's obviously way high. If we look at anywhere of where that actually is, 1.6, 1.7 to where it is now, let's actually see what the percentage was, down 84% of where we are right now. But where it was a week ago to 2 weeks ago, it was down 90%. And what I ended up doing is I ended up buying. So basically then I bought like $5,000 worth of it. And that all of a sudden became worth like $400 or something crazy. And what I did then is I bought another $2,000 of it. And now I have an entry that's all the way down here. And I have my whole bag that I've been waiting for then, which is now starting to see some profits, which is really good. And now we look at this bad boy goes back to those areas. If I didn't sit and do anything, I'd only be at break even. Where from here, you're looking at a 4x. Now, all of a sudden, my $2,500 on that is now worth $15,000 at that area. And you just got to continuously be focused on that. Doesn't matter which tokens you're accumulating. So understand that this is the time you make the money. It will always be the time you make the money, is in the ranges. And you got to learn to add to your long term whenever we hit the bottom range. Bitcoin's bottom range right now is 18K. That's the range it's given. If we hit those ranges, you're adding to your dollar costing on any of your bags that are just, you need to go see what is my average price on all of my tokens that are in my long-term portfolio. And some of them will be good, some will be shit. And the ones that are shit is the ones that you got to go and balance out. Ideally, when this bull market starts, you need a balanced portfolio that is ready for the bull markets, which means you got to continuously shift on that. And then you obviously got the range where you'll have a swing trading account, and that swing trading account will be the one that's making more dollars in that time. So you can obviously continue to add those bags. So what I'm thinking here, guys, on the short time frame, if we look at ETH sort of sitting in the middle again still, it's still sitting in the middle. We did have this little wick down. For me, a very clear stop loss hit, because the stop losses would have been under this low. So it was a cheeky one that just came down, stopped everyone out. And right now it's still sitting in the middle. So ETH for me only turns bullish when it's above 1,370 is when it does break that trend, and only over 1,400 is where it starts to hit the squeeze area for me. We will start to see a little bit of a quicker move from Ethereum in that time. So Ethereum's not doing much. MATIC, as I said, I'm buying the retest. The retest for me is around 82 cents. I'm definitely loading up on MATIC. If we look at Solana, Solana's great. These were stop loss hits for me, in my opinion, especially if the market bounced down, we move, because everyone's stop losses were sitting under these lows. And look how it sent it straight through. And then all of a sudden, we got a big ass buy up. And now we're back in those ranges again, which is quite crazy. So remember, you got this trend on Solana, and you can obviously see that Bitcoin's on the trend right now. The altcoins are still a little bit away. That's why I'm saying Bitcoin will give us the go ahead to get ready and load up on them. Solana for me is still one of those. AVAX, same. AVAX for me, it's gotten cheap, guys. Where this token's been, it's getting pretty cheap. We also have this trend as well. Slightly away over here. So Bitcoin breaks through, this moves. But you look at the moves on where, you know, a 25K Bitcoin or something happens. You know, you're looking at AVAX go back to the regions of $20 to $25. You know, you start looking at the percentage moves on these tokens. It's quite a bit. The big one, THETA, just taking its damn time. It's still got some time until it gets to that trend, but this is beautiful. I want to catch that breakout. That's going to be a great one. And I think this goes back to $1.62. So just keep focused at these areas. Guys, I don't know about you guys. Please pop in the comments there. Cardano's got to be getting cheap. If we look at where this is on a very high time frame over here, and you look at the weekly, the stochastic is nearly getting down to the bottom. So you know what happens when it gets to those areas. But look at where it is right now. It is at the all-time high of the 2018 run. Yeah, of the 2018 zone. It is there right now. So for me, it's quite crazy where Cardano is. There's a massive gap. And this is obviously if everything falls crazy. I would go put 1 or 2 cheeky orders around 18 cents. Just in case, but ideally this is a dollar cost zone for me. Definitely Cardano, I need to add more. I need to balance. I think my average position's around 65 cents or something like that. So I need to definitely get that better. If we look at NEAR protocol, NEAR's pretty good. It is sitting exactly at the previous zones. It did the same thing. It sent a wick under to go and hit all the stop losses. Very similar. The only thing is this is you could see it's probably going to still need a little bit more sideways. But what I like about this is a relief bounce from here. Look how far we are from the trend over here. Really big. So when you find one that's really far from it, remember, a coin's going to always go back to home. Doesn't matter what direction it is. If it's a down direction, this is your home. It's your support. It's your base. It's your area of where you go test and then you get rejected. Very similar when the market's moving up. It goes up, it comes in test, goes up, comes in test. This is home. And it's the same thing when it comes to AVAX now, is this is home. It's in a bearish sort of direction and pattern that we're in, but it always will come and test at home at some points, and then it can either continue or anything like that. We've got to get used to that with trading. And if we look at where we are now, if Bitcoin breaks that trend and gives us that first little go ahead, you know, look how far this is over here. So if I know Bitcoin's good, I know stock markets are good, I know Dixie's dropping, I know 10-year yield's dropping, you know, NEAR is definitely one I want to be in because it shows me how quick that this one can get back to the key areas. We then have Atom. Atom for me is breaking trend as we speak. So it looks like one of the top runners if Bitcoin goes bullish now. So keep an eye on Cosmos. It's looking really good. It's really broken out. It's testing right now. We just got to confirm that Bitcoin's breaking out. Which is basically the 20K level. And then Cosmos for me is a big one and gets us to the next levels. The rest, Injective, Chili's, and all of these. So what I'm doing, guys, remember trading competition. It's all here. I'm currently long, short-term longs on Chili and on Solana. I see my Solana is about to go into profit. So I'm running these 2 longs for the day because I still see that the temporary high for me wasn't in for Bitcoin just yet. But obviously, if we start to lose momentum, I will be updating you guys on that. I'll put some short-term stop losses in that for now. So I'm short-term bullish for now, but I am prepping that there could be some sort of big rejection at some point. But if Bitcoin breaks this major trend over here, I do see a strong acceleration. The only thing that I am seeing on the shorter time frames is Bitcoin keeps coming down here with tons of wicks and it keeps getting bought up. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I got a trend line in place. So you can see my trend line. Let's put it correct over there. I got the trend line. That's showing that it can take time in this range. But for me, it's getting bought up and it's holding. So if the stock market starts to rip, I think Bitcoin and the crypto market will catch up pretty quick. And let's do it, guys. So let's spend the rest of the week. I hope you enjoyed the live trading session last night. We didn't trade much, but we got to chill with each other. And I think we're going to do a lot more of that. Start building a lot together. Let's give it today. Let me get back. We'll see where the price is later. And tomorrow we can start setting up some more trades. And we could just keep going, guys. Let's keep hitting it. I need to get to my flight. I love you all. Smash the like, smash the subscribe button. And I'll see you all on tomorrow's show. Much love, Banter fam. Much love.